And today just wanted to share another strategy or assertive communication. It's a brand new language in a whole new world when you use it. So another, way to communicate in a highly effective way with your children is through positive assertive communication, and it really gets their cooperation majority of the time if you use it consistently. So I highly, you know, value this kind of communication in relationships in general. It doesn't just work with children, it works with people of all age, beings of any kind, whether they're plants, animals, birds, fish, humans, it doesn't matter. It works across all species, horses, dogs, whatever. So if you're a human, anybody could benefit from watching this and applying it in your life, especially if you use it consistently. So when you're wanting someone's cooperation, and obviously it depends on their mentality, their health, their disabilities that they have, and their composition as a whole, um, as to how cooperative they're going to be with you. But in general, for most people, this works most of the time. Um, so in my first video, when I shared positive parenting strategies for getting your child to cooperate at bedtime, this is something that would work in addition to what I already shared for that particular instance of getting them to cooperate and get in bed when you want them to, but also any other time. So when you're wanting their cooperation and they're resisting you, they're crying, they're saying no, or they're just ignoring you or something, and not cooperating, then one thing to remember is when you're doing this, you have to sound like the boss. You can't ask for their cooperation as if you're not going to get it. You have to ask with confidence that you will. So you have to believe that this is going to work. And so the way that you ask, like I said, it's very important. It's not what you're asking that's going to get you the results you want. It's how you do the asking that makes the difference. So you don't have to ask in a snotty way or like angry way, or to show that you have control of the situation. A lot of people think they have to use anger in order to be in control of the situation, in order to get cooperation if the child is resisting. That is not true. And for parents, between one adult and another, adults obviously often think the same thing. They have to raise their voice to get the cooperation of the other person in the relationship. This is not true. What works is for you to stay calm with them and present and just be understanding that if you use this style of communication instead of your old ways, it's going to work, and so have confidence in that. So you stay calm, you don't give reasons or explanations for why you're asking, you just ask for what you want. You're not asking for what you don't want, remember, you're asking for what you do want. So please, will you help by getting in bed now? That was the example I gave in my first video, if you recall. And I may put a link to that video in this one so you can refer back to it. But if you say, please, will you help by getting in bed now? Sometimes that's not enough for people to ask nicely. Using good manners, you say please, you use the word will instead of can, and then ask for what you want, not what you don't want. Get in bed now. So that puts in their mind, oh, I need to get in bed now. If you say, please, will you stop will you stop playing the video game that you're on, or will you stop, you're asking them to stop doing a certain thing, that's what they're going to think about doing, is is whatever words you use. That's what your body is going to think about. So if you want them to stop playing the video game, don't say anything about the video game being played. Just say, please, will you go do this? Which is what I want, right? Will you go get in bed now? So, and you don't have to ask with a tone of voice that shows you're angry or that your feelings are hurt in any way. You don't want to use emotion. Just ask from a place of optimism. So, please, will you help by getting in bed now? You can have a smile on your face, not a fake one. It's not about being fake positive or anything like that. So, just do your best to be neutral then, or optimistic with a smile that's real. And, in a friendly way. Then, sometimes that's not enough to just go straight to asking them and expect cooperation right away. So, hi, Camilla has pause. um, yes, I see you commenting. Thank you. But what I really want you to remember is like sometimes children or people in general, they need time. If they're highly sensitive people, especially, they need time to adjust to a new activity being needed. So maybe say in 5 minutes, it's going to be time to go get in bed. You can prepare them in their mind ahead of time. And so that way, they've heard you, you know, you don't have to say, did you hear me or anything like that. Just say, in 5 minutes, it's going to be time to get in bed. And that way they have it in their mind, okay, in 5 minutes I need to stop doing this. And then they can wind that activity down. They have time to wrap up what they're doing, to finish it up, to say goodbye to that game or whatever it is, and get ready for their bedtime. So, same thing with baths or whatever, if they resist having a bath. Prepare them ahead of time. In 5 or 10 minutes, give them a specific amount of time, not too much time, 5 to 10 minutes, and then be sure that you monitor the time and actually go back to them in that amount of time. Do not get on the phone with your friend and start talking and get distracted and then wait 30 minutes because they're not going to trust you the next time you ask. So this is about building trust with you as a leader, a confident leader, and then asking for what you want, through preparation ahead of time by saying in 5 or 10 minutes, it's going to be time to get in bed. So then when you go to ask them to get in bed, please, will you go get in bed now? It's been 5 minutes. And you can go back to them after 3 minutes and say, okay, in 3 more minutes, it's going to be time. Okay, you have 1 more minute and then it's going to be time. That way you keep preparing them. You keep them engaged with you as those 5 minutes are going by, and they get used to that idea little by little, okay, as each few minutes go by. And then they're like, okay, yeah, now it's time for me to stop and I'll go with you. So when you do say, at the end of the 5 minutes, will you please get in bed now? They're ready to go do it. So this works really well for little children especially, but kids of any age, and also for adults. So if you have a spouse with you or a parent even who you're taking care of, the same thing works with elderly people. They especially appreciate it. So now, if you're still getting resistance and you're finding that's not enough to work for you and you're consistently asking this way, you can also add in a little story about bedtime. Some children or people, they like to use their imagination more, and they need help feeling inspired to go do something. So if you add in a little story about bedtime, like, yeah, bedtime is so fun. I love going to bed because I love dreaming, and in my dreams I get to relax and, like, have you know, healing take place or whatever. Like, I love restoring my energy while I'm sleeping. I love just being rejuvenated when I wake up in the morning. I think it's so fun to go to bed. Let's go to bed soon. Um, and have really good dreams tonight. So you can make it a fun thing. Find something that your kids think is fun and let's go dream about unicorns or something like that, that they would love. And then they'll be like, oh yeah, let's go to bed. That sounds great. Right? So get their buy-in, inspire them to want to do it with you. That's another way to do it without having to yell at them or shout or whatever. Okay? And then you can also, that makes it fun for you too, to want to go to bed with them. So, all right, so these are just extra little things that you can add in. One, confidence that it's going to work. Two, asking for what you want ahead of time, by preparing them in their mind. And then three, making it a fun thing for them by making up a story about it that's really fun that they can relate to, that would make bedtime fun for them. And so I hope that that works for you. I know it's been about 11 minutes here, so I'm going to end here. I like to keep my videos short for you. And then I'll share more tips tomorrow. All right, so thank you so much, and I hope this works for you. If it does and you like it, you love it, please give it a thumbs up. Share with your other parents that you know, friends or family or whatever, if you think they could benefit from it. And I'll be happy to share more again later. Thanks. Bye for now.